It's your boy Spider Pig, aka TWP. You already know what time it is. Early on a Saturday, which makes it Super Saturday. Hopefully, you have a Super Saturday, motherfucker. We got this video for you. You know how we do. We gonna get straight to it.
Images of Dragon Ball Daima have leaked, and they reveal the rise of the most powerful Demon King, someone who's going to surpass Majin Buu and make Goku tremble with fear. Stick around because I'm going to tell you everything about this leak. Stay connected to the channel and let's get into the video. Recently, a new villain was introduced in Dragon Ball Daima, Majin Kuu. This villain is the result of a collaboration between Dr. Arensu and the witch Marba, a being created by combining the DNA of Majin Buu with several other creatures, using a Saibaman as the base. The outcome of this mix is Majin Kuu, a creature that is undoubtedly extremely powerful. His power is evident because Arinsu didn't even bother test this monster. Not long ago, Arinsu complained to Marba that the last Majin the witch created was weaker than her, and if Arinsu said that, there are only two possibilities. Either she sensed that Majin's power and immediately concluded it was weaker than hers, or she tested its strength against hers and found it lacking. But with Majin Kuu, that didn't happen. Arinsu didn't want to test Majin Kuu. She simply decided to send him on a mission no other Majin could accomplish, defeating Tamagami number 1. If Arinsu gave this task to Kuu without even testing him, it means she already knows Kuu is far stronger than her. And if she sent him to face the Tamagami, it means she believes he has at least some chance of winning. In summary, Majin Kuu is indeed incredibly powerful, probably more so than any other Majin we know of. But did you know Majin Kuu is still incomplete? You probably didn't, since the anime hasn't revealed that yet. However, we already have leaked images showing that Majin Kuu will acquire new powers that will take this monster to simply incredible levels. But you know what's even more incredible? Your like and subscription. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you're not part of our community yet. This helps us a lot, and it's great for you because you'll always get new Dragon Ball content. Everyone wins. Thank you so much to everyone who likes and subscribes. You guys are the heart and soul of this channel. Seriously. Now, Majin Kuu is probably the most powerful Majin in the Demon Realm, at least based on what we know so far. Of course, we still don't know if Kuu is stronger than the Tamagamis, but I'm not even sure if I'd classify the Tamagamis as Majin since they're quite different. They seem more like artificial beings, kind of like robots. But beyond Kuu and the Tamagamis, who's the most powerful being in the demon realm? It's very likely that this person is King Gomah. When you look at Gomah's design and personality, he doesn't seem like much. Proof of this is that he holds the title of Supreme Demon King. When Dabura's death became known, Degesu immediately declared Gomah the new king. and the way it was said implied that the only reason Gomah wasn't the king before was Dabura. And once Gomah was proclaimed king, no one questioned it. Not Degesu, not Arinsu, no one. As we can see, many people hate Gomah, like King Kadan, Glorio, and Arinsu, but no one directly opposes him. More than once, it's been stated that Gomah is an incredibly powerful sorcerer. If Glorio, for instance, doesn't kill Gomah on his own, it's simply because he can't. We've seen that Glorio is a much stronger than average Majin, capable of forcing Goku to use Super Saiyan to defeat him. This means Gomah's power level surpasses Goku in his base form. On the other hand, we've seen that Goku in Super Saiyan 2 is already powerful enough to defeat Tamagami number 3 without much difficulty. Since Gomah isn't capable of defeating any Tamagami, this means Gomah is weaker than Goku in Super Saiyan 2. That makes sense, as he's also weaker than Dabura, who at most had the power of a Super Saiyan 2. So Gomah's power is roughly on par with Goku in Super Saiyan form, but I think that's enough for Goku to beat Gomah. However, this fight wouldn't be a traditional battle with exchanges of punches, energy blasts, or anything like that, since Gomah doesn't seem to be a fighter. He comes across as more of a sorcerer, someone who uses magic. Because of that, Gomah wouldn't engage Goku in direct combat. Instead, he'd rely on magical powers to try and contain or defend himself against Goku. In Dragon Ball Super, Moro's first fight against the Saiyans was somewhat like that. He used far more magic than physical attacks at the start. Of course, Gomah's power doesn't come close to Moro's, but the Goku from Daima also isn't comparable to the Goku from the Moro arc. But why am I talking so much about Gomah? Wasn't this supposed to be about Majin Kuu? Guys, understanding Gomah's power is important because the leaked image we have shows that Gomah and Majin Kuu will actually become one. Some time ago, Majin Kuu's design was leaked. Back then, no one paid much attention since it couldn't be confirmed as reliable. But now, we've seen that Majin Kuu's design was spot on, which adds a lot of credibility to this leak. However, note that the design we've seen in the anime is incomplete because in this leak, Kuu is wearing a cape, whereas he isn't in the anime. And doesn't this Majin Kuu cape look a lot like the one King Gomah wears? Majin Kuu was created with Majin Buu's genes, so he probably also has the ability to absorb people. When Buu absorbs someone, he gains traits from them, including their clothing. So, it's very likely that Majin Kuu will absorb King Gomah, especially since he's heading to the first demon world to face Tamagami number 1. And as we've already seen in the anime's first episode, Tamagami number 1 is very close to Gomah. This raises the possibility that Majin Kuu might fight Tamagami number 1 and end up at a disadvantage, given that Tamagami number 1 is probably the strongest of them all. However, Kuu might spot Gomah there, as the fight would likely draw the king's attention. He might show up to see what's happening, and at that moment,
why are you so
Majin
cold,
Kuu
Izzy?
could absorb Gomah. But it doesn't
Heat
necessarily
out.
have to happen
Too
during
much
his
snow up there.
confrontation with Tamagami number 1. There could be other scenarios where this might occur. As I mentioned earlier, Gomah doesn't seem to be a fighter, so absorbing him wouldn't help Majin Kuu in direct combat. However, Kuu could gain several other magic-related abilities, which could make him even more dangerous. We still don't know exactly what Gomah's special magic is, but there's a good chance that the magic which drains the life force of the Third World's Majins is his. If that's the case, it would give Majin Kuu the ability to absorb life energy, weakening his enemies while strengthening himself. In fact, Gomah likely has mastery over multiple types of magic, not just one. Dabura, for instance, could do various things. Now, imagine Majin Kuu absorbing Gomah and becoming the powerful Supreme Demon King, someone who not only has an extremely high combat power, but also a vast arsenal of magical abilities. Wouldn't this villain give Goku and the others a serious challenge? And there's even a possibility he could acquire the third demon eye, but that's another story, and I haven't seen any leaks about that yet. So, let me know in the comments how powerful you think Majin Kuu would become if he absorbed King Gomah, and whether you believe this will actually happen. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with any Dragon Ball fan you know. And to show me you're one of this channel's true Hakaishins, comment Goku versus Supreme Demon so I know you made it to the end of the video. Big hugs to you all, and see you in the next video.
Yeah, another reason why I'm dope. I review videos that I review during the week. Shouts out to me for keeping it moving and keeping shit working. It's over here taking a pause real quick because that's only at Vegeta Saba. Keep it rolling. Well, December's supposed to be cold. Last I checked. uh, icy days.
Even non-existent, and to defeat them, they will need a fusion or a new transformation. I think that by now, most of you must have understood what I'm talking about, right? That's right, guys. I'm saying that Vegeta, the Prince of the Saiyans, and one of, if not the proudest character in Dragon Ball, has finally reached the power Super Saiyan 3. Right now, some of you might be laughing at something ridiculous that would never happen. But is this really impossible to happen? No, guys, it is possible to happen, and there is a good chance that it will end up happening in future episodes of Dragon Ball Daima. With that in mind, you may be wondering how this could be possible, since Vegeta never used the Super Saiyan 3 transformation in Dragon Ball Super. Don't worry about that, because I'm going to explain how all this can happen, and why Vegeta never demonstrated his ability to use Super Saiyan 3 at any other time in Dragon Ball Super. Well, there are several reasons why Vegeta never used this transformation in Dragon Ball Super, and one of them would be because of its disadvantage, which is the large amount of
Shit, not there. Fucking.
Check out the official Geekdom 101 merch store. Right now, we've got all of our designs 25% off, and if
Shouts
you
out to
order
my
now,
Mountain Dew video
you can get these
sponsorship. They owe
designs
me hella money.
to yourself or to your loved ones just in time for the holidays. We've got shirts, hats, hoodies. You can get prints. You can get cell phone cases, all kinds of different merch in multiple sizes, and of course delivers anywhere, well, almost anywhere in the world. So don't forget to get yours today, 25% off for a limited time, and if you order today, you'll get it before Christmas. We have arrived at episode 10 of Dragon Ball Daima, and man, what an episode it was. They packed so much into this episode. All these pacing issues we've been discussing, I've been critical of it, and I was worried they were going to cram a lot in. Well, this episode certainly was that, because this episode had everything. It had badass fights, it had action, it had comedy, it had a bunch of lore. It really was a lot like episode 8 in that the first half of episode 10 was pretty much all action. It was all action and very little of everything else. A little bit of comedy, a little bit of talking, but mostly action. Then the second half of the episode is when finally things start to simmer down and we get to Demon World number 2, and that's when we get a bunch of lore. Not only is the gang finally together in one place, all 8 of our big characters, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Bulma, Hibis, Glorio, Pansy. Did I miss one? I think that's it. Yeah, that's all of them. Anyways, by the end of the episode, they're all together and the story goes on. Now, the episode first started. The very first thing we saw was Majin Kuu versus Tamagami 1. Now, I talked about how Majin Kuu is not the final villain. He's supposed to be goofy. He's not meant to be taken seriously, and this episode illustrated that in a better way than I ever could. Majin Kuu is a goof. The way he fights Tamagami 1, his very weird movements, his very unusual sort of combat strategy, he makes a lot of weird noises. It's kind of like, remember how in Dragon Ball Z, when Kid Buu is fighting Goku and Vegeta and he's like kind of toying with them and mocking them and laughing at them? So Majin Kuu is doing that, except he's losing. Tamagami 1 is not one to be messed with. I do believe the Tamagamis get stronger as you move up the ladder. So Tamagami 3 was the weakest one. Tamagami 1 is the strongest. And Majin Kuu busted out a lot of different types of techniques, lots of different types of ki blasts. He can definitely manipulate ki just as quickly as Kid Buu could, Majin Buu could, creating green energy balls, turning into a tornado, all types of different moves. But Tamagami 1 was just in the fight, just in there. Tamagami 1 is going to become a fan favorite character. I can already tell you that. He's got that, like, hit, sort of silent assassin kind of vibe to him. Plus, his weapon is like a sword that's also a saw. Incredibly badass. So what I loved is that here we have in this fight a representation of what I think is one of Toriyama's coolest designs, Tamagami 1, versus Majin Kuu, one of Toriyama's goofier designs. I mean, like I said, he's supposed to look goofy. He's not serious. He's a counterfeit Majin Buu. Marba said in episode 8 that Majin Buu was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That Majin Buu was like basically a fluke, so to speak. Like he was somebody who cannot just be replicated. So Majin Kuu being part Cyberman with a little bit of Majin Buu and, you know, obviously Dr. Arinsu's saliva, whatever that does. So this fight was fun. Meanwhile, what's going on the other side of things is Goku once again has to get the pointy ears, and they end up going to Warp to get to Demon World 2. So finally, they don't waste any time, they don't go see the king, they don't goof around, they're in Demon World 2, and there they have to deal with two different obstacles. One is this giant whale-like creature in the water, and the other is the military police chasing after them with their ships. So we have this like Star Wars-esque action-packed like battle in the skies where Gloria showing off his Han Solo piloting skills. He's flying around. Again, remember when I used to do this shit during Super? So they're blasting each other. Gloria's flying in between them. Goku's like, fuck it, I'll take care of this. Gets outside the ship, bro, and it resembles the stuff that Goku did in the Red Ribbon arc of Dragon Ball and what he did in the early Dragon Ball movies, like the Blood Rubies movie / Legend of Shenron, where he's got the stick, he's got the incredibly powerful Nioibo, and he's just battering these ships, dude. It was such a beautiful thing to see. So you got a little bit of OG Dragon Ball, a little bit of Star Wars, and while that's going on, we're cutting over to Majin Kuu versus Tamagami, which is a fight straight out of Dragon Ball Z. So again, it's what I've been saying, y'all. Daima has a mix of Z, GT, OG Dragon Ball heroes. This episode had it all. So the Majin Kuu fight was very well animated, beautifully animated. In fact, they're going at it. Tamagami 1 is just, again, keeping his cool, you know what I'm saying? Defending that one-star demonic Dragon Ball. Dr. Arinsu is there watching the fight. Kuu doesn't get the job done, man. He doesn't get killed. Because remember, when you challenge a Tamagami, it's not a fight to the death. If you surrender, or if the Tamagami surrenders, it's more of a martial arts type of thing, like a tournament, where you don't try to kill the opponent. All you have to do is defeat the Tamagami to get the Dragon Ball. We saw that with Goku and Tamagami 3. But Majin Kuu, it ain't his day. It ain't his day. But man, it was fun seeing him. It was so much fun seeing him go in there and try everything. And Tamagami 1 was just chill. Just like, he's going to be a fan favorite, mark my words. So while all this is going on, they have this scene with a giant whale, which again, I don't want to say it every week, but this is Star Wars. It's The Empire Strikes Back. The giant whale grabs and swallows Goku. It's a fake out. They make it out. And then meanwhile, while that's all going on, there's some jokes with Hybis, and Hybis doesn't really understand, like, he finds out that Kakarot and Goku are the same guy, because he didn't understand why Vegeta kept calling him Kakarot. You know, he's the fish out of water. He's the character that doesn't know anything, right? He's obviously got sort of that dumb face, like that kind of, you know, slow poke type of face. So they get to Demon World 2, and it resembles Planet Namek, because that's the original home world of the Namekians. And this is stuff we've been talking about for weeks now. If you've been watching my breakdown videos, which, by the way, tomorrow night, I'm going to have a huge...
Pause. I be forgetting to do stuff. Y'all get to see me do it though. Record for the Rumble video. Let's go. Let's go. Right back to it. Welcome back, Rumble. Y'all know how we do. Super Saturday over on Spider Pig. Check him out on YouTube. And that way you don't miss part of the video because I forgot. When keeping it real goes wrong.
Breakdown video based on this because there's a lot of information that was revealed here that ties directly into Dragon Ball Super, including a cameo from Gowasu, like in a flashback, and that's right, we're talking about the same Gowasu that was a key player in the future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super. He's appearing here because there's a whole bunch of backstory that they reveal. The Demon World 2 is the home of the Glins and the Namekians. So I had kind of speculated when I interviewed last week. I interviewed Nassim Belancourt, the English dub voice of Piccolo Mini, and we discussed that one of the big reasons as to why Piccolo is on this quest in the Demon Realm is so that he can find out more about his history, so that we as an audience can find out more about the Namekian history, and how that all ties in with the Supreme Kais, and how that all ties in with Devora. Everything ties together here. This is a massive, massive lore dump. One of the biggest we've seen in Daima thus far. But I knew they were going to do it. And to be honest, this was the episode to do it, get it out of the way. The lore masters and the lore lovers like me eat this shit up. Because next week, folks, next week's episode, Dragon Ball Daima episode 11, Vegeta versus Tamagami 2. I'm not done talking about episode 10, but that just tells me that most of the lore information was probably, but not all of it. I would assume not all of it, but most of it was given to us here, and we're going to progress the story as Vegeta is going to get his shot at Tamagami 2. So we're getting a lot of Tamagami battles in a relatively close proximity. So the series is picking up steam now and picking up the pace. This was probably my favorite episode of the show so far. I liked it a little bit more than episode 10. Let me get to a bit more of this lore stuff, though. Also, something funny, when they first got to Demon World 2 and Goku recognized it as looking like Planet Namek, we saw Frieza. We saw a flashback of the events of the Frieza saga very quickly. The fact that he blew up Planet Namek and that Goku fought him there. So, it was only for a second, but seeing my favorite villain, Frieza, in a small cameo was cool to see. So that little planet that we've been seeing in the trailers and in some of the promotional spots, that's the original home of the Namekians. Demon Realm 2 or Demon World 2 is different than Demon World 1. Remember how World 1 was like a lot of little islands that are floating with this like bottomless pit? With World 2, it's almost like an ocean with these sort of floating planets, and one of them is the original home world of the Namekians. Again, this is stuff that we kind of already knew ahead of time, or at least suspected. We suspected it. I talked about it in a breakdown video several weeks ago. Now we have confirmation from the Supreme Kai himself. So it's weird. It's almost like a planet within like a universe, but the universe seems like you're on a planet. It's very hard to explain. It's very cosmic. It's like it's not as small as like King Kai's planet, Kai-Osama's planet. It's like that though. And remember how that was like a planet sort of in the middle of this macrosphere? That's kind of like what this is. Like this universe just has an ocean at the bottom, so it feels like you're on a planet. But there are planets above that ocean. I know it seems like it's very science fiction. It seems like a difficult thing to understand, but it's again, some of that real crazy world building we've been seeing from the Demon Realm. So they go into the origin of the Demon Realm. Now this is stuff I'm going to break down again in much more detail in tomorrow's breakdown video, but I'll give you the cliff notes of it here and my thoughts on it. There was this like king of the demons many, like a long time ago. This is even before Abra, although Abra's mentioned. So he sends a Glind, and he was instructed to create the outer universes. So this is literally the creation of the Dragon Ball multiverse. This is the deepest lore we've ever had actually stated in the show. This is all stuff that you would normally see from guidebooks and Daizenshus and all that. Now it's officially in the Dragon Ball, and a product that Toriyama worked on that is anime slash manga, like something that he worked on. Not just a guidebook, it's actually in universe now said by a character. So there's a lot of speculation about how old the Demon Realm is, and apparently the Demon Realm existed before the multiverse. That's now this Glenn is apparently still alive. And he is the highest ranking god. So his name is like Limes or Rhymes. It just depends on what translation you want to go. So he's supposed to be the god of all gods. Now the obvious question is, wait a minute. Dragon Ball Super said that the god of all gods was Zeno, the Omni King, the god of everything, the man at the, the boy at the top of the multiverse. And then what ends up happening is the Glins, some of them were sent into the multiverse to watch over them as gods of creation. And we actually see Gowasu, and we see the Supreme Kais that we already saw in Super. It's the same designs. It's the same exact characters. The Universe 6 Supreme Kais, the same ones we saw in the Tournament of Power, the same exact ones. Gowasu's, of course, the Supreme Kai, the Kaioshin of Universe 10. I kept telling people, going back months, that Dragon Ball Daima takes place before Super, but after the Majin Buu saga, and there were several people saying, oh, it's a different continuity, it's a different canon. It's not. It is not. However, there are still some unanswered questions, which I'm sure we're going to be talking about in the next few weeks, because there's still a lot of information that has not been revealed yet. So Shin reveals that in the past, people were able to go from the Demon Realm to the Outer Realm with no problem, but then when Demon King Abra took over, Beerus' father, the one that had that third eye that we talked about, that was changed. And it was Abra that, because he was probably afraid of being overthrown, didn't want any of the outsiders from the outside world, from the outside multiverse, to come into the Demon Realm, and that's where the whole password system with Warp was, where it was birthed. So there was a group of Glins that escaped the Demon Realm to get away from Abra, and this episode also does confirm that humans and Saiyans, specifically those two races, although there's probably tons of other races in the universe as well. We've seen them throughout the course of the various Dragon Ball, manga, Dragon Ball Z, all that stuff, that they all sort of were created through the regular passage of time, through evolution and things of that nature. So they are not from the Demon Realm. That was a big theory. The Saiyans were born from the Demon Realm. According to what the Supreme Kai said in this episode, that is not the case. So there's a lot to unpack here when it comes to Limes and Zeno, and I'm going to go into all of this in my breakdown tomorrow, as well as my explanation of how these two entities can exist, because they can. And actually, there are clues in Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Daima that will tell us these answers. I will bring it all to you tomorrow in the breakdown. The episode ends with Neba, that's right, the Namekian, going all the way back to episode 1, that first sort of turned the Dragon Balls back on to make the wish to make them all kids. He appears as the good guys, as the main team, all go into a ship. He walks up like laughing, like almost maniacally, and that's your cliffhanger for next week. Next week, Vegeta battles Tamagami 2. Man, what an episode. A bunch of goofiness at the beginning, a fun fight. Majin Kuu is a fraud, but the fight was still fun to watch. And the little, plane battle was cool, and the lore was cool. So, I enjoyed this one quite a bit. The pacing is going to be like this from now on, man. I'll be happy. They can't slow it back down again, at least not for a while, because things are going in a relatively good pace right now, and they're using their time wisely, okay? Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good one.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Zen?
I already joined this Patreon today. That's a great stuff on there, actually.
Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Now, even though the situation at hand appears to be a very difficult one for us to be in, I do, however, believe that there is still time to go and turn things around, despite all that's happened. But now, as I start to wonder on how badly things are going to get around here, I have no doubt in my mind that we'll be ready for whatever may come knocking on our door, because we must be in order to survive.
As our story now continues back on Kame's lookout with both Gohan and Goku now looking to make way and having to speak to both Mr. Popo and Dende, to which upon the moment of arrival with Goku noticing that Dende and Mr. Popo were shown cleaning the lookout was when Goku then went on to add, alright, now let's just go and see if we can get some answers here and find out if the Dragon Balls can be put to use for us, just in case we absolutely need them if all else fails, with Gohan responding, Dad, I hate to ask, but don't tell me that you and Vegeta were the ones who are responsible for the way the lookout looks right now, are you? Because, well, Mr. Popo and Dende don't appear to look very happy here, with Goku responding, nah, it'll be fine, and besides, we can always just go and use the Dragon Balls to fix whatever damages are on the lookout anyways, but hey there, you guys! I'm finally back and was able to find my way out, well, sort of, with the help of a demon that I honestly don't think would have turned out to be someone that would even break me out, but, well, now that I'm out of the demon realm, we can, but then, it was only just before Goku could even go as far as to finish his sentence was when Dende went on to cut in, oh, stop it, Goku, I was able to sense your presence once I felt you re-enter back onto Earth, but just listen, how many times must we go and tell you to please try and not trash the lookout, Goku? Do you even know how much cleaning we are going to have to do here because of you and Vegeta? This is ridiculous, Goku, with Goku having to then respond, whoa, hey there, take it easy. And I'm sorry about the mess here, but I actually wanted to ask you about something that I think would be very important in case we were to go from, well, of course, bad to worse here on Earth, and so I need to know something, Dende. Could Shenron be able to possibly reverse a wish or two that had already been made by the hands of the demons within the demon realm after having to use the Super Dragon Balls and go and make their wish? I kind of want to know where we stand here, because if push comes to shove, well, then we're going to need all of the aid and all of the help that we could get against them, and so could Shenron here on Earth be able to undo Super Shenron's wishes, or would Earth's Shenron be way out of his league here, with Dende responding, wait, so you'd want to try and undo the wishes that were already put in place by the Super Dragon? Oh, well, I'm sorry, Goku, but you know that can't be done, don't you? With Goku responding, wait, seriously? But what do you mean? How come? With Dende having to explain, well, what I mean is that if what you're already telling me is that there were already several wishes that were made by the hands of the Super Dragon Balls in secret, then, well, then there's no way that the Earth's Dragon Balls would be
Able to do nothing for you.
able to do anything that could reverse such an effect unless you wish to undo them by using the Super Dragon Balls themselves, but I'm afraid outside of that there is no other option, and so I'm sorry, but Earth's Shenron just wouldn't be able to do anything about that, especially if it were done in a pocket dimension like the Demon Realm, Dende continues. And what's worse about this is the fact that they even have the Super Dragon Balls in the first place, which isn't a good sign whatsoever. And how are they even able to get them, and what exactly are they planning on using them on there for? Because, well, this is just extremely terrible.
Now, given that Goku don't know that Xeno's sleep, Goku should wish to be put in Xeno's dream. That way he could be safe. If they put Zeno to sleep, they ain't gonna be able to kill his ass. You can't kill Zeno. You're gonna have to be able to take him down. That's why that dude trying to power up. Shouts out to that dude powering up, because that makes it a good story.
Terrible. No matter how you may try and go and look at this, if what you're saying is true, Goku, no, seriously? Well, would it be possible for us to maybe go and make Shenron stronger then? Would that have any effect in having to help us in case we needed his power? Because, well, I ask because in case something were to happen here in our universe, Goku continues, then it would be best to have Earth's Dragon Balls on standby just in case. With Dende responding, well, I could try and strengthen Shenron's power here on Earth, but, well, I doubt that it'll still be enough to alter anything that's been used by the Super Dragon Balls, but, well, I could go and see what I can do in order to ensure that just in case we need Earth's Dragon Balls, they'll be here. But I think if anything, the best course of action to take is to try and get the Super Dragon Balls back and pull them out of the Demon Realm, but I know that this in and of itself won't be an easy task, and so, well, I'll go and see what I can do here to ensure that nothing happens, but just please be careful, Goku. You'll never know what lies in wait for you within the darkness, and I say that because, well, I have a really bad feeling about all of this, Dende says. Well, if that's the case, Gohan then went on to quickly chime in, then I think it's best if we go and speak to Whis and Lord Beerus, along with informing Vegeta about what's been going on around here, so that way we can all remain aware just in case more of those demons were to suddenly start showing up in our universe again, Dad. And so I think it's best if we go now, too, with Goku responding, yeah, you're probably right, and so we're going to need all of the help that we can get, especially if things start to get ugly around here, and so we'll plan ahead and come back later and try to get the others prepared too, Goku says. Well, thank you for your help, Dende, so we'll make sure to come back here after we're done speaking with Whis and Lord Beerus about this, but just remember that if you happen to run into any trouble here on the lookout, then don't hesitate then to let us know, and we'll be right here to help you if you need us, okay? And so let's just hope that we can keep Earth's Dragon Balls safe while we go and try to figure out how to get the Super Dragon Balls back. And so now stay safe, you guys. We'll be seeing you both soon. To which seconds later, with Goku then shown using instant transmission and teleporting him and Gohan off of the lookout, was when Mr. Popo then went on to chime in. Oh dear, do you think that they'll be able to somehow go and bring the Super Dragon Balls back, honey? Well, I sure do hope so, Mr. Popo, and I sure hope that they do, because I have a very bad feeling about all of this, and I don't like it one bit, and so let's just hope that they all do good by the end, Dende says. To where all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over down below, as we only then surprisingly enough see how Piccolo was able to find and speak with both Android 17 and Android 18, was when Piccolo then went on to comment, and so that's the situation. Although a difficult one and one that we don't fully understand yet, the dangers that are posed by these demons from the Demon Realm cannot be overstated, as these creatures don't just seek conquest, but the total annihilation of everything in this universe if we don't prepare for what is to come against them as well, with Android 18 responding, demons from the Demon Realm, huh? Sounds like a headache, to be honest, but what exactly is their motive here, because they don't appear to be in any hurry to invade altogether, especially if it's only just a few of them showing up here and there, and so what's their deal, 18 continues, because if they don't seem to be in any kind of hurry here, then what are we to worry about exactly, because you're making this sound a whole lot worse than what it actually is, and so now what is it? Is this really as troublesome as the way you make it sound, or are you simply worried over the fact of actually having to see if you just show up from out of nowhere, with 17 then having to chime in, and besides, how bad can it really be with the others like Goku, Broly, Gohan, and Vegeta around to fight these things, 17 questions? Or are you telling us that maybe we are just simply biting off a bit more than we can chew here, especially since we're already loaded with some of the multiverse's strongest warriors, with Piccolo responding, well, although we haven't really seen what this realm truly houses in terms of powerful warriors that can compete with our own, we have both seen what happens when dark forces go unchecked, so you can only go as far as to imagine that, only tenfold compared to what we could be facing if they invade. The Demon Realm's warriors are masters of dark energy, Piccolo continues, capable of corrupting and destroying life on a scale that we haven't seen since facing Murno, whom in fact they are also trying to bring back in case you really want to know, and so there's that. Trying to bring Murno back, you hear that 18-17 questions? Well, that's certainly not good, and I damn sure don't want to be placed in a situation where we have to go and fight that monster again, and so what do you think, 18? With 18 responding, yeah, same here, and so if that's the case, then we'll need to go and figure something out so that way we don't have to end up going through the same mess that we ended up going through before, and so what's your call, 17? Well, if you decide to change your minds, Piccolo went on to then walk away by responding, you know where to find me, and so in the meantime, I'll go and warn the others in case things start getting messy around here, and so it's better to be safe and prepared than it is to be left open and vulnerable like how we were against Murno, Piccolo continues, and so I'd rather be ready this time and die fighting than to be caught by surprise again and be annihilated when I could have been ready, and so we'll be in touch if anything, Piccolo says. Hey now, slow your roll there for just a moment, 17 went on to then quickly chime back in, because whoever said that we were done, with Piccolo then questioning, what? What do you mean, 17? I thought that the two of you needed some time to think about this, with 17 responding, well, I think that it's more than obvious that we're in, especially if it's a fight that those demons are looking for, then they don't have to look any further than the two of us, so you can count us in, with 18 responding, yeah, you seriously didn't think that we'd just say no and leave you guys to hog all of the fun for yourselves now, did you? Now, what was it that you had mentioned about Bulma and Dr. Hedo exactly? Because now I'm curious, with Piccolo being shown turning around by responding, well, what do you know? I knew that we could count on the two of you just in case we needed it, and so I couldn't thank you enough, Piccolo continues. And speaking of Bulma and Dr. Hedo, follow me and I'll bring you both to them, because if anyone could help ensure our victory against those demons, then it's those two for sure, so now follow me. To which, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over inside of Capsule Corp and seeing Dr. Hedo being shown approaching Bulma with a stack of research papers was when Dr. Hedo then went on to comment, alright, it's all here, or at least all of the information that we need should be in these research papers here, and so maybe now we can go through it seeing if our information is correct, so shall we go and try it out and see what we can make out of this, Bulma? With Bulma responding, there we are now, and so I take it that with what we were able to gather, could we perhaps use this information to strengthen Gamma 1 along with powering our supercell defense system? With Dr. Hedo responding, well, with all of the data collected, we should be able to strengthen Gamma 1 by using the samples collected from that horn that Piccolo and Gohan had retrieved, but I'm not too sure on how this would affect our supercell defense titan since, well, he isn't quite finished yet, so, well, if anything, I do believe that it would be best if we only run these upgrades on machines, just in case there's some unknown after effect from the samples collected that could still allow for a demon to take possession of a biological subject. Yeah, well, maybe we'll just go and do that in the meantime, Bulma went on to respond, until we know that it is safe to run these same upgrades on biological warriors without running the risk of having anything happen to them. But now that the Capsule Corp Metamo rings are complete, Bulma adds, it's just a matter of going as far as to test them to see what kind of a fusion it can create, and more importantly, if they can ultimately create fusions that are far stronger than the ones that we are used to via the fusion dance or the Potara earrings, but we'll just go and test these out last and see what we can make of them once we start to see what these are like in combat against someone. Well, to our credit, Dr. Hedo responds, we did manage to amp these up by a very large margin, especially when considering the idea that these things would multiply the fusion's power many times over, and so, well, it's only just a matter of finding the right pair to go and try these on and see what the results turn into, with Bulma having to then respond, yeah, well, I mean, there's always Goku and Vegeta that we can go and try these on, but then again, Vegeta never really enjoyed the idea of going and fusing with Goku
Yep,
to begin
well,
with, and so
Gohan
this
to fuse
might
with
be a
Goku.
little tricky, but then it was all of a sudden now to Bulma and Dr. Hedo's surprise was when Piccolo went on to then enter into their lab by then responding, hey, sorry to just barge in from out of nowhere again, but I hope you
Shouts out to Piccolo for being a goddamn role model.
don't mind that since I came and brought a few guests along with me that I do believe could be of much
Yeah, the original androids.
use to us in case we happen to find ourselves in a battle against those demons, and so who better to help us than two of our old friends from the past, with Bulma responding, wait, you brought guests? But who? Oh, don't don't tell me that you went and brought Goten and Trunks here now, did you? I'm hoping that you weren't expecting for that God of Destruction or someone else to just show up, because that would have burst your bubble, 18 went on to then respond. And do either of us even look like Goten and Trunks to you, Bulma? 17 went on to then also quickly respond. And besides, the boys are busy watching over the island while I'm away, and so that should keep them occupied in the meantime. With Bulma responding, well, I'm glad that you guys can go and join us, because we're going to need all the help that we can get in order to counter whatever it is that's going to be coming. With Dr. Hedo also chiming in, hey, so you're the famous Android 17 and 18 that I heard so much about. Right, and based on my understanding on the two of you, you are both modified humans, aren't you? Lapis and Lazuli, correct? Well, that's a first. 17 went on to quickly respond, because it's not that often that we run into anyone who refers to us by our actual names. But being that you seem like you really wanted to talk to us, 17 continues, our question now to you is, what are we going to do about this demon problem, and what exactly can you offer that would be of any use to us against these creatures, Doctor? And moreover, are the things that you and Bulma appear to be working on back there, 17 adds, and so why don't you go and fill us both in on what's going on? With Dr. Hedo responding, well, I see that your curiosity has been piqued by our latest endeavor, as these here aren't just any ordinary armbands, in case you're wondering, Dr. Hedo adds, for this is actually the culmination of a year's worth of research and development between Bulma and myself, as these right here are our official Capsule Corp Metamo fusion rings, and these bad boys are designed to facilitate a fusion that isn't only far more stable, but significantly more powerful than traditional fusion as well, with Bulma having to then chime in, and even though we haven't tested them yet, this is only just one of many cool little secret projects that me and Dr. Hedo have been working on, with 17 responding, fusion, huh? Well, that's no surprise, but correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's an android sitting behind you, am I right? Interesting.
I'm just saying. Bulma gets the God of Creation power upgrade. Why? Because, you know, her husband is Vegeta and he becomes God of Destruction. So they become linked spiritually. So he ain't got to worry about his wife dying. Because he going to be around to protect her anyways as the God of Destruction. Boom. That's all that. Then you got Dr. Hedo. You know, he's a scientist. So he has a lot of things he wants to create. Boom. There you go. Populate a universe. I ain't going to tell you too much of the story. Because I know y'all motherfuckers is ready to steal it. But hell. You know how that go. Buy me a coffee. We might start the series.
So I'm guessing that you went and made this one yourself then? And with all things considered, 17 adds, do you think that he could hang with us just in case we have to team up against those demons when they get here, with Gamma 1 having to chime in? And if I may, Dr. Hedo, if there was ever a better time that called for the bio-acceleration chamber to be used in case we needed to stand our ground, then I do believe that this would be that very time for us to go and use it, with Dr. Hedo having to then respond, well, actually, come to think of it, that would be extremely ideal, and especially when considering on how much they'd be able to improve after we upgrade them to where they need to be. And well, now that you're both here, Dr. Hedo continues, it's time that we go and do a little bit of modifying, so that way you are both up to date with everything that which you'll need to be made aware of. And if you think that the two of you are really strong now, then just you wait until you both emerge from our bio-acceleration chambers, for I can promise you both that the two of you will be extremely satisfied with the end result of what we do. As all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over on Beerus' planet, we can see Primal Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta very angry at the fact that the demons were able to escape, was when Vegeta then went on to add, oh, I can't believe what just happened here. Of all the things that I could have prepared for, they went and blindsided me by having me fight a clone. A shadow demon on top of it all, Vegeta adds. And I know that it must have been when that little rodent of a demon had taken my blood on the lookout. And now they went and got away with Lord Beerus' blood sample too. And so what are we going to do now? As Beerus went on to look on down on his wound by then responding, and to think that I have allowed for myself to become far too calm about this overall situation, only to have something like this go and catch me by surprise. As I was far too careless in allowing for such a thing to ever even go as far as to happen on my planet. Well, now I'm angry, Beerus adds, and and I will make sure that no matter how many of those creatures decide to go and stand in my way, that they all pay for what had taken place here today. And as for you, Beerus adds, we were both fooled by the sudden and unexpected events that were shown taking place here today, but moving forward from now on, all of that changes, which means no more playing nice with any of those creatures from here on. Now step aside because Whis is back. Wait, Whis is back? Vegeta went on to then question upon seeing Whis arrive back on Beerus' planet. Well, good, and so let's just see if he was able to find out more about what the heck has been going on around here as of late, and so let's just see what he says. You were gone for a lot longer than you should have been, Whis, Beerus went on to then quickly chime in, and since you were gone, those creatures had the nerve to come and touch down on my planet while you were away, and so now I want their heads mounted on my wall for what they did. So with that said, what were you able to learn while speaking with the Grand Priest and the Omni Kings about this situation?
Beerus and his big ass
Right, and
ears,
so we
though.
ran into
Like,
some trouble
nigga.
while you were away, Vegeta adds, and if there's anything that you can tell us about what we can do to put an end to all of this, then now would be a great time to tell us on what we need to do in order to make that happen. With Whis responding, though I was able to sense what was going on here while I was away, and I do however regret to inform you both that the overall situation appears to be far worse than I imagined that it would be, for the Omni Kings appear to be unresponsive and sealed away within their palace as we are unable to reach them no matter how hard it is that we try. And so with that, we cannot trust that they are okay. With the shocked Vegeta responding, wait, say what now? They can't be reached even by you? But how is that even possible? And so are you saying that those demons are the ones who are responsible for putting up for such a barrier that prevents anyone from reaching them? Oh, great. And so now what are we supposed to do? With Whis responding, well, for now I will need to go and meet with the other angels so that way we can try and get down to the bottom of things, but I would need to go and do this alone. With Vegeta responding, so oh, great. And so this is far worse than what we thought it was, isn't it? Well, if that's the case, then they could be getting ready to launch an invasion at any moment. With Whis responding, well, they could go as far as to do so if they so happen to choose, but as long as we are prepared for anything of the sorts to happen, then we should be in good hands. But then, it was only suddenly now from out of nowhere during their conversation was when Goku had used instant transmission in bringing Gohan along with him, as Gohan then went on to chime in, well, it looks as though they all seem to be doing okay, but judging based from what I can see on their expressions, well, they don't seem to be very happy, and so I'm sure that something must have happened. With Goku responding, yeah, well, I wouldn't doubt it either, but let's just go and see if we can go and get down to the bottom of things, so that way we can go and maybe figure out on how we can go about this and stop those Dark Masters from doing what they're about to go and do. And for our sake, let's just hope that it's not too late either, Goku continues. And with that, it looks like we are not alone here either, Whis went on to then chime back in. So you were finally able to find your way back after all, huh? Well, I'm glad to see you back with us and in one piece, Goku, with Vegeta having to then respond, Kakarot, but since when did you just so happen to come back, and how are you able to go and find your way back out and return? With Goku responding, well, to be honest with you all, I wouldn't have been able to find my way back alone, and well, that's because surprisingly enough, it was actually one of those demons down there who helped break me out, but we'll go more into that a little later on because I was able to find out on what those demons were up to down there, and more importantly as to what they were planning on doing by using those Super Dragon Balls as well. With Whis responding, helped by a demon you say? Well, that's very unusual to hear, but if you have anything that you'd like to share with us, then now would be the perfect time to go on and do so, as Beerus was then shown having to approach Gohan by then having to ask him, so that idiot Saiyan went and brought you here too now, did he? Well, regardless of what I think of you, Beerus went on to put his hand on Gohan's shoulder, I'm glad that you are here because in case a war with those demons were to break out, then I will need all of you who are worthy of standing on the front lines to be ready for anything in case something were to happen, Saiyan. And so you do understand what it is that I am asking of you, do you not? With Gohan responding, well, thanks, Lord Beerus, but yes, I think I understand exactly what you're trying to tell me, and, well, you can go and count on me to do what it is that I need to do in order to stand by everyone's side to defend our universe from whatever might be coming our way, Lord Beerus. Beerus? Well, if that's the case, then this is what I'm so not only are those Dark Masters sampling our blood and our DNA in creating these shadow demons, Goku says, especially since they're creating them as a way to counter those who are the original, but they are also trying to use the Super Dragon Balls to not only undo an ancient seal that had locked away their demon god away, but to also make matters far worse, is that they're also going to try and use those Super Dragon Balls to attempt to try and resurrect Murno, and even go as far as to shackle him down and use him as their slave to wipe out and destroy everything, with Vegeta responding, "What? They're trying to bring Murno back to life? Are they completely insane? And aside from having to fight one of those so-called shadow demons myself, they're also trying to awaken the demon god of the underworld as well? And you're absolutely sure about this, right? This isn't just a guess that you have or anything, right, Kakarot? For this is in fact the truth, isn't it? Because now it's all starting to make sense." Well, unfortunately, yes, it is, Goku responds. Hey, wait a second, speaking of, how are those demons able to find this place and even go as far as to blindside you by cutting your... But then, it was only just before Goku even had the chance to finish was when Beerus went on to quickly interrupt Goku by then responding, "Oh no you don't, Goku. One more word out of that mouth of yours and I'm going to see it that you never speak to me again. And so be careful with what it is that you say, because anyone, and I mean everyone, can be caught slacking when their guard is down," which was exactly what went and happened here. For I was too reckless to have paid attention and allowed for what happened to have had happen, but nevertheless, do we have a problem here or not, mortal? With Goku uttering, "No, we don't, but geez, just take it easy, would you, Lord Beerus? I hope you're still not mad at me after what happened with your ice cream sundae and how me and Vegeta ruined your day from earlier, are you?" Well, I'd hate to go and interrupt you guys, Gohan quickly went on to chime back in, but since those demons seem to be preparing themselves for a possible invasion and battle against us, then I think it would be best if we went and got some serious training in just to be safe, you know? And especially what was shown having to go down against Murno last time, I'm really not trying to take any chances here this time, Dad. Wait, you seriously mean it, Gohan? Goku questions? Well, are you really sure that you're up for this? Because there's no telling on what we're about to go and encounter once those demons decide to go and try to make a move on us, and so are you sure? Indeed, and what say you, Vegeta Whis went on to then question. Are you also going to join Gohan and Goku in training yourselves to prepare for whatever we might end up encountering later on? With Vegeta responding, "No, I will not. At least not now, because I'm currently training myself, but in a different way, with my mind. And so I must continue to read this book in order to find out more information on just what those things actually are." Well, honestly, I couldn't be sure about it all, Gohan went on to then quickly respond. Especially with what was shown taking place on Earth when Murno had arrived, if anything like that were to happen again, then, well, I'd much rather go and be safe rather than be sorry, no matter how strong these demons are, Gohan says. And even if, let's just say, Murno were to somehow come back, then, well, I'd rather be ready than to be destroyed like the way I was when Murno had arrived back then. And so, while we're at it, could you go and do me a favor, Whis? Gohan went on to then question. I'd like to go and change my outfit back to the way my dad's is, and so could you maybe go and change that for me up a little bit, Whis? Oh, so you want to revert back to your orange gi then? Well, not a problem, Whis says. Alrighty then, just stay right where you are, with Goku responding, "Say, you're going back to your old colors again, huh? Gosh, I haven't seen you wear this outfit here since, well, since more than likely when we went and battled against Majin Buu prior to Murno, of course, and so, well, it's good to see you bring it back for one final run, eh, son?" Yeah, I know, isn't it cool? Because it sure does go back and bring back a lot of memories now, doesn't it? With an agitated Vegeta saying to himself, "Oh, now I see. So those demons are able to alter their strength while using the Demon Realm's essence as a way to fuel themselves, which only goes as far as to confirm to me that they are using the realm's energy as a power source of some kind, but how can we stop them from further using the Demon Realm as a power supply is the question, because it doesn't seem to tell me on how that could be reversed unless, but of course, that has to be how it can be done, or I should have known, with Goku then continuing, "Well, now that you're ready, are you sure you want to go and go through with this, Gohan? Because if anything, we'll go and spar for a little just to see where you currently stand. That way I can also see what needs to be worked on the most while we engage. So is that okay?" "Yeah, that's perfect, actually," Gohan respond, but could you go and do me a favor as well, Dad? I don't want you holding back your full power against me just because you want to go engage me, alright? Well then you have my word that I'll go and leave it all out there against you, Gohan, Goku says. As I want to see how good you've become, so that way in case anything were to happen, then I'd know that you'd be right by my side in case a
You
war
already
were to
know they had
break
to
out,
throw
and
them
so
hands.
you have my word that I won't be going easy on you, my son, I promise. Well, thank you, Dad, and I promise to go all out and give it all that I have as well, so that way you can see that no matter what those demons try and throw our way, we aren't going to stay down upon them having to throw it, and so I'm ready. With Beerus looking on over to Whis by questioning, and are you sure that this is a good idea for them to go and spar here, Whis? As wouldn't it be best for us to go and hunt those rotten demons down instead for what they've done, because I'd rather them do this later, with Whis responding, well actually, I do believe that this would be what's best for the time being before we decide to go and make our move in getting back at those demons, my lord, for it is a strategic preparation and good way to fine-tune their instincts and reactions, Whis adds, and as they begin to challenge one another, they will also go as far as to uncover new strengths and weaknesses and further fostering their growth along the way. And even while doing this, their training could also prepare them both for whatever may be coming next if those demons decide to invade or attack Universe 7, and so it's best if we allow for them to do this just to see where they stand, as Goku was shown in getting into fighting position by responding, alright now Gohan, whenever you're ready, let's go and see what you're made of, son, with Gohan responding, right, and unlike before, I'll go and make sure that if that monster Myrna were to actually be brought back to life, that things end up being far different than how they were when we first encountered him, and so let's do this, Dad. Yeah, well, they better go and hurry it up and not wreck my planet as a result, Beerus went on to then shout, or else I'll go and wreck both of them for doing it if they just so happen to do so, Whis. Well, I can't really promise you that they won't, my lord, Whis responds, but, well, at least this ought to take your mind off things for a while, and especially with what was shown happening here while I was away, and so let's just wait and see as to what they will do. As all the while, in the meantime, when then venturing back on over within the Demon Realm, and now seeing the Dark Masters open up a portal and heading back into the Time Chamber to do Raijin's bidding, was when Demon Jogo then went on to add, we must ensure that nothing goes wrong while we wait to use those Dragon Balls again, but how much time do we have left in order for us to wait until they can be used again? Surely it can't be that long, can it? With Dark Master Toro responding, we have about 2 more hours to go and wait until the Super Dragon Balls can be used again, and from there, we will go and do exactly as Lord Raijin had instructed for us to go and do. Am I clear? And so now let's move. As the Elite Demon Zaru then went on to appear by then responding, Dark Master Gira, pardon my trouble, but there is a very important matter that I wish to speak to you about immediately, with Gira having to then respond, Zaru, and what exactly may be troubling you that you wish to go and speak to me about, Demon? As this had better be good, for I am not to have my time be wasted after Lord Raijin had already given us an order, with Zaru responding, my deepest apologies for holding you up on your time, but I regret to have to inform you that the mortal Saiyan who had been held captive by you had been freed. The Saiyan is no longer within his containment chamber and has already fled from the Demon Realm, with Gira having to then respond, wait, what? But that's impossible, Zaru. And so how are you to be sure of this? How was that Goku able to escape and find his way back into the living worlds? Explain yourself now, with Zaru responding, while gathering and preparing some of our forces to move into Universe 11, I couldn't help but sense something very strange that was coming from within the ridges of the Western Canyons, and that was when I saw it for myself. I felt the mortal's presence, and when I looked down to get a better look at what was happening, he was gone. Couldn't have escaped back into his world without the aid of a demon within our ranks, and I think I have a very good idea on who exactly this was who went and set him free. A traitor amongst the Demon Realm, Gira questions, and you're sure about this? Because if that's the case, then you listen to me and you listen up very well, Zaru. Find them right now. Find the traitor within our ranks and deliver him to Lord Raijin immediately, as the rest of the Dark Masters and I will wait and guard the Super Dragon Ball. But If you happen to know on who exactly this was who was responsible for this, they will need to be executed and made into an example, understand? As I want this treacherous vermin to suffer for daring to defy our authority, and so find them and bring them to Lord Raijin at once, with Zaru having to respond, as you wish, Lord Gira, for I think I know on where he might be trying to hide, so finding him will be certainly the least of my troubles, as I mostly look forward in delivering this traitor to Lord Raijin myself. And so I can assure you that I will not fail, as Toro went on to address Gira by responding, I said now, Gira, and I will not go and repeat myself to you again. Hurry and get a move on so that we may all be ready to use the Super Dragon Balls now. That is an order, demon. Yes, understood, Lord Toro, Gira responds, for I will be with you all in just a moment. Now listen, Zaru, I want eyes and ears all throughout the demon realm, as I want to ensure that there are no other traitors who are hiding among us. Do you understand? For you are to gather the other elites and follow General Raiga's command unless Lord Raijin tells you otherwise, for I want every single one of these backstabbing demons dead. No excuses, no mercy, Gira adds, as we are to see to it that absolutely nothing goes wrong, especially with Master Raijin now awake and freed from his prison, Zaru. Now go and weed these rodents out and destroy them, for there is much for us to do and that needs to be done so that we may have our day, demon, and so now go and find him, with Zaru having to respond, oh, I can assure you that you have my word, Lord Gira, as this is what I was born to do after all, and I think I know on just where to find that little rat for what he went and did now, traitor. To which elsewhere in the demon realm, as both Dubo and Kibi were shown having to walk amongst the other demons, was when Kibi then went on to respond, tell me something, Master Dubo, is Lord Raijin preparing for the invasion of the other realms, which happens to include the 12 mortal universes that the Saiyan Goku happens to come from? If the mortal is based in one of the 12 universes, Dubo responds, then yes. But when push comes to shove, you must not hesitate despite how you feel, do you understand? For he is not your friend and he never will be, Dubo adds, as our loyalty is to the throne and to the demon realm, boy. And so he may have spared your life within the moment, but that doesn't mean that he will do it again, especially when war comes knocking at his front door, Kibi, and so this you must understand. And so therefore, whenever Lord Raijin calls for us to be at war, then you must be ready for battle, even if that means that you must face that Saiyan again, with Kibi responding, well, I understand and never once claimed that I wasn't going to fight on behalf of the demon realm, but I guess you're right, unbeknownst to Kibi, with a hand being shown sticking on out from behind him and responding. But the Saiyan did happen to mention something about how our true enemies are not those who we are led to believe, but instead the Dark Masters themselves, which he also went on to mention how, but then, it was only just before Kibi even had the opportunity finish was when from out of nowhere, that was when Zoro went on to grab onto the back of Kibi's neck via a port, by then responding, there you are, you little worm, I knew that this was where you were, and so you're coming back with me, you little traitor, as I know everything, demon, and so now you're coming with me, to which as soon as Zoro was then shown pulling Kibi into the portal was when Dubo then went on to shout, no, not like this, no, oh, hang on, Kibi, as it was only within that very moment back over on the other side, with Zoro now shown having to throw Kibi on the ground before Lord Raijin with his back turned, was when Zoro then went on to continue, and here you thought that I wouldn't catch on in finding out about what you were doing, you little rats, for you have a lot of explaining to do, boy, and so you better stand back up and start talking, because you don't want to keep Lord Raijin waiting any longer, demon. What nonsense is this? Kibi went on to then suddenly question. What are you talking about, Zaru? I know nothing about what you speak of, and so what is the meaning of this? Why was I brought here, and what are you looking for me to answer about, Zaru? With Zaru then responding, do you think your deeds would remain in the shadows, Kibi? For I was there in the canyons when you led the Saiyan to freedom, Zaru went on to point out to Kibi by responding, defying the orders of our leaders, and now your betrayal is exposed for all to see, especially before Lord Raijin, traitor. For it was you who had went and freed the Saiyan from his captive chamber, as it was you who had guided him through the canyons and back into his world. As it will be you who will pay for spitting in Lord Raijin's and the Dark Masters' faces in the end, with Kibi responding, "What? How could you say such a thing, Zaru? You have no proof of this, and so how could you accuse me of such a thing when I wasn't even there? How do you even know that it was me that you have claimed to seeing, Zaru?" With Zaru responding, "Because I saw you with my very own eyes, you coward, and so now are you calling me a liar, Kibi?" But then, it was only during the middle of their heated exchange was when Raijin was shown having to turn his head by then interrupting and responding, "That's enough, Zaru, for I will go and deal with this myself, as you have been accused of a grave betrayal, young demon, as freeing a captive prisoner is no small crime, for if these allegations hold true, then I want you to know that my wrath will be boundless for your actions, as betraying our cause by releasing any prisoner is a heinous act that directly goes against my order, along with the orders of the Dark Masters who set them in place. For I have no reason to doubt Zaru's word," Raijin continues, "for as one of my elites, he is as reliable as they come, and so now you will go on and tell me everything that I need to know, or I am going to tear your body apart limb by limb until you confess everything, boy." As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 14 special, then comes to a close. You can make no mistake about the fact that with things now beginning to become even more intense now, both in the living world and within the demon realm as well, it would only seem as though right now our heroes, despite them having to prepare in whatever may end up coming next, it would only seem as though right now the demons are on high alert after learning of the fact of one of the demons having to send Goku back within his own respective universe. One could only go as far as to imagine as to what is about to take place coming up next, so you do not want to miss out on this and so much more, to which all of this will be made available first on my Patreon for all of you out there that are members to see. So if you would not only want to support the fan manga content that you see on this channel, but also gain exclusive access to my art, soundtracks, additional videos, content, and so much more, then I do encourage for all of you guys to become a member of my Patreon today, patreon.com/UnrealEndGaming, to where I will go on ahead and leave that link located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well, as I do quite frankly want to thank each and every one of you guys for making this happen, because of course you guys do understand that after the Murno sequel is over, then we are immediately going to be debuting the top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse sequel, so I know you guys cannot wait for that. So don't forget to become a member of our Patreon today, because we are going to make several announcements coming up very soon, to which to that I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody, as always. Thank you all so much for your time, to which once again, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, then I do encourage for you guys to go over and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unreal End Gaming? Also, don't forget to follow these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch. Rochi, Silent Hill, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless
Quality
editing.
reviews. We still got another video to watch, so we'll catch that on the next one. Dirty.
Imitation is the best form of flattery. It's also the deadliest. Which one of us are you? You'll have to kill me to find out. What's your favorite scary movie? Stab. What else? Is that you, Billy? Of course it is, Stu. A Superman goes fascist. Now that's a scary movie. Too bad you won't live to see it. Zero. This is pathetic. I'll kill you in seconds. Go ahead. The sequel's already greenlit. I'm gonna rip you up from the inside out. Yeah, good luck with that. I'm gonna enjoy every moment of tearing you apart. You auditioning to wear this mask
aspects of Vegeta's journey was battling his inner demons. Memories of past defeats, especially at the hands of foes like Frieza, initially held him back. By confronting and overcoming these doubts, he fortified his resolve. And while the gods provided the philosophy and foundational understanding of the power which Vegeta seeks, Beerus served as Vegeta's sparring partner. Their duels, swift and intense, were lessons in finesse, control, and strategy. And through his unwavering determination, rigorous training, and deep introspection, Vegeta had not only mastered his Ultra Ego form, but also became a testament of indomitable power. By integrating the God of Destruction's power into his very being, he proved once again why he remains one of Universe 7's most formidable warriors.
Rolling on over.
Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of Unrelent Gaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Sid?
I already joined this Patreon today. That's a great sum on there, actually. Did you really have to bomb the city? The domino. Blew up the dominoes! Now you are laughing. Do you realize the price is here?
And you will be rich. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn notifications right now.
Or else, what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Cut off closed caption. I don't know why that's even on.
how its structural foundation works down there, what I will say based on all that I've heard throughout my time was those who command the demon army along with serving as its most powerful of warriors was often said to be completely devoid of all empathy and mercy, which is why the demon realm is governed the way that it is. But even now, I don't seem to shake this empty feeling that I have within my stomach, for I fear that the most brutal of battles and the most difficult of times is still reserving itself for a much closer time than I may even come close to realize.
Alright, this is the last.
As our story now continues
Not the
following
last
the
video.
events
Huh,
of
we
the
got more
demon
shit to
release,
do today.
Zoro
Let's
having to
go.
give away Kibi and accusing him of having to be a traitor to the demon realm, as with the demon god Raijin now shown having to come face to face with Kibi and having to question his motives and actions, was when Raijin went on to then respond, "Let me go and remind you, young demon, that you are playing an extremely dangerous game here with me, for I demand the truth from you now. For if you refuse, then you shall suffer through consequences that will make the darkest pits of this realm seem like sanctuaries by comparison. And so now why was I told that it was you who had went and set this Saiyan mortal free?" Raijin questions. "What were your reasons on betraying me as well as betraying this realm the way you did?" Raijin adds. "And remember, choose your next words with me very wisely, demon, for I will not be taken for a fool," with Kibi having to respond, "Great and honorable Master Raijin, please believe me when I say that Zoro doesn't know of what it is that he is talking about." But then, it was only from out of nowhere just before Kibi could even go as far as to continue was when Raijin was shown wrapping an energy whip around Kibi's neck by then responding, "That was not what I have asked for you to go and do, demon, for I do not wish to hear about what you believe, but would rather hear about what is already known, which is your involvement in freeing him. And since I have no reason to doubt Zoro's words," Raijin adds, "I want you to understand that your betrayal to my title will not go unchecked, for I am going to inflict upon you the horrors that go far beyond your wildest nightmares, creature. So now tell me, what gives you the right to go and assume that this mortal would be your ally, demon? Because he was not, for you are loyal to me," Raijin says. "You and everyone within this realm serve and should only ever serve me, and not those who stand across from us, demon. For now I want you to know what it's like to experience betrayal, young demon, which is why I will go and ask you once again, and this is going to be the very last time that I ask you. What were your reasons on setting this mortal free, and how was it that you were able to do it when you fully understand the consequences of such barbaric actions? Now tell me, as if you fail to respond accordingly to what I am asking of you," Raijin continues, "then you can make no mistake about what will immediately follow, demon, as I will tear your arms and legs apart from your body while using my magic to still keep you alive long enough so that I may rip your heart out and feast upon its every beat while I watch as the light within your eyes slowly start to dim before I go and destroy what remains of your body. Final warning, demon. Now why did you choose to betray me?" But then, it was shockingly enough from out of nowhere, as the demon Dubo had gone as far as to intervene by having to rush towards Kibi and Raijin's location, was when Dubo then went on to shout, "Wait! No, please! Stop this, Master Raijin! It wasn't him! It wasn't the boy who went and set the mortal free from this realm, for he is not the source who was behind it," with Zoro quickly responding, "Oh, it's you, and just what are you doing here, Dubo? Your interruption better be with a good enough cause," Raijin went on to address Dubo by responding, "especially for you to be within my presence without me having to call for you, and so this better be good, demon. So now tell me what it is that you know. Speak now, for I am slowly beginning to run out of patience." "My lord, please spare the boy, for he had nothing to do with how the mortal was set free because, well, I was the one who went and sent him back into his universe," Dubo shockingly went on to then proclaim, "for Kibi had only just arrived moments after I sent a Saiyan back to where he came from, my lord, for the boy did not know nor was he aware of what I had done, and as I went and sent him back because I had already assumed that we were able to get everything that we needed out of him already, and so therefore Zoro has mistaken Kibi for me. And so please don't punish this demon any further, Lord Raijin Dubo, please, because I am the one who is responsible for this, as a chained up and binded Kibi went on to then utter, Dubo, what are you doing? Don't do this! He will destroy you! The boy is just afraid, Lord Raijin Dubo continues, and so I beg for you not to punish him any further, because since he is a young demon, his potential is vast in being of great use to us against the outside realms, and so he is not the one to blame because I am, Dubo continues, and so I please ask of you to release him and take whatever anger you wish to exhibit out on me instead, O Great One, as since he is too scared to think straight, he will do anything and say anything out of fear, my lord, and so I the one. Now please cut him loose, as I was the person who Zoro had seen free the Saiyan. You were a fool to think that your actions would have gone unnoticed for you to go and assume that we weren't going to catch you, Dubo. Zoro went on to then quickly respond. And now you will suffer for your actions after knowing about what you did. Would they're going to defy the throne, traitor, but then it was only just as Raijin was shown having to let Kibi free upon having to get in the middle between Zoro and Dubo was when Raijin then went on to quickly chime in. That's enough, Zoro, as I will take it from here. So, it appears that I may have been mistaken in my judgment to assume that it was you who went and betrayed me, young demon, but that doesn't change the fact that I am still highly suspicious of you, Raijin continues, but nevertheless, now on to you, as I hope that you know what you've done here, demon, for you are supposed to serve and be loyal to me until the end of your days, but I see now that not only are you of no use to me, but you are defective. And since you are hereby defective, Raijin went on to slowly approach Dubo, you are no longer useful to me. You do understand this now, don't you? For such a crime cannot go unchecked, especially not here. With Dubo chiming in, please, Lord Raijin, please let me go and make this up to you and allow me to prove myself to the only thing that you have proven to me here today, Raijin went on to then cut in, was that you simply cannot be trusted, as your actions could end up in what leads to the downfall of my entire kingdom, and that I will not allow to ever have happen again. And so now let this serve as a grim and grave reminder to any demon who chooses to defy me the way you did, Raijin went on to then point out that your betrayal to my throne, along with your actions that go against what we stand for here in this world, will be made into an example to anyone who dares to try and stand against me while proclaiming the title of demon. For you should have thought this through, because there is no way that you could possibly go back to change what you did now, as your fate has been sealed. Master Raijin, please, Dubo went on to then beg, please, don't go through with this. I could prove my worth to you once more if you allow me the chance to go and show you on why I'm deserving to serve in your name. Just please, with Raijin quickly cutting back in, the only thing that you've proven to me was why you are undeserving to exist within my presence, traitor. And such wastes of space no longer have a place, nor do they have a purpose to serve within my domain. But shockingly enough, seconds later, with Raijin now shown completely having to blow away Dubo's head in allowing for his body to drop back down, was when Raijin then went on to continue, and so now witness, my subjects, the fate of those who dare to challenge my supremacy and expect to live long enough to go and speak about it. As let his destruction serve as a lesson to all those who harbor similar thoughts just as he did, for you are all loyal to me and only me, and that is how it shall remain until the end of time itself. As this display of power is not merely for spectacle, Raijin continues, but it is a firm reminder of the hierarchy that exists here, for any demon within this world or any mortal from within the multiverse who dares to stand across from me will be ultimately met with absolute obliteration, as my rule is without question, as my will over this realm is unchallengeable. Oppose me, and you will be erased from the cosmos, leaving nothing but the echoes of your failure behind in your wake, Raijin says. For this demonstration of power should also clarify any doubts about my sovereignty. Raijin went on to then pull out Dubo's heart in his hand by responding, and to all those who bared witness, let it be known that my domain over this realm and any threat that comes from the outside world will be absolute. And now I will feed on his heart, for I grow hungry by the minute, and I will not be denied while I seek more to feast on. And while I feed, Raijin continues upon being shown chewing on Dubo's heart. Words cannot be put together to explain how lucky you truly are to still be alive right now, young demon. In which, as you have witnessed the fate of your fellow demon, let it crystallize within your mind that you are only lucky to be alive solely due to my choosing. And should there be another instance, Raijin continues, another moment where your actions warrant my attention in the wrong way, then there will be no shelter, no mercy, and no escape. Every shadow that you trust will ultimately turn against you under my command, and your annihilation will be final. Now get out of my presence before I go and change my mind. To which, as Kibi was then shown doing, it had only become clear now that the only reason as to why Raijin had decided to let him go was because he deemed him to be lucky, as Raijin then went on to continue, and now since you are already here, I might as well go and make use of your time here and now, Zaru, and thus, I need you to open your ears very wide and listen to everything that I'm about to tell you very closely, for I also request the presence of several others to be here at once, as I am preparing a cleansing fire that will sweep across the cosmos, purging it of all those whom I deem unworthy to exist. As your role here, however, is critical, Raijin continues, as I need for you to go and follow my orders without deviation. Failure is not an option, so if you are to fall short of my commands, then you will be destroyed as a result. And so now scour the multiverse and identify all of the strongholds of mortal power across the cosmos, and mark their every location when you find them, but remember to embark on this quest with the utmost of caution, Raijin says, for your mission is to identify the strongest mortals across the multiverse is critical to my plan, and especially after learning of that one Saiyan mortal being sent back into his own respective universe while he was here. I want you to go and gather every shred of information that you possibly can and leave no stone unturned throughout your mission, because in order for this to work, I must know of all those whom would choose to stand in the way of my plans, as I will not allow for any of them to destroy what I have worked so very hard to achieve, Raijin continues. And so now step forward, Meki Mairo, Kodo, Sakuro, and Shinjin, for each of you will be given a small but very important task that must be undertaken, Raijin continues. And while your primary task is to catalog the mightiest among them, I want you all to each peer into the very essence of these spirits and gauge the potential for allegiance to our cause along the way. For those who can be swayed shall be drawn into the fold of joining our ranks within the demon realm, and those who resist or prove inflexible in their moral standings are to be obliterated from existence with nothing left behind as a result of their actions against our mission. And while I plan to continue my search to go and find and gather together all four of the configuration cubes, I must ensure that there is nothing and no one who will stand in the way of that, Raijin says, which is why the strongest must be located and be dealt with accordingly. For I must ensure that once they are all gathered, that the final stages of my plans are finally sought into completion. And since we were able to identify traitors among our kind here within the demon realm, as I will need all those who rank within the elite ranks to keep your eyes out on those who may seem suspicious of turning against us as well, as each of you will be given a universe to venture into, while I expect for each of your missions to be completed and seen through until the very end, Raijin continues. And if you feel the need to destroy any mortal who ranks within the status as being the mightiest within their respective universes or worlds, then you may go and do what you must as a result, but do not return back into this realm if you cannot oversee that the mortals are overtaken by your sheer might, or it will be the last time that you will ever even dream of existing within my presence, demons. Remember the plan, remember your mission, and mark every location down of those who hold the strongest hideouts, and whatever it is that you do, try to avoid in finding yourselves locked in any sort of battle against any of those gods of destruction along with their angels, Raijin continues, as they will be left to be dealt with by both the Dark Masters and by me. And so now, Meki Myro, you will head into Universe 7 alongside Zaru and expose any and all of its strongholds while you're there. And if you are met with any sort of resistance, then terminate them where they stand. With Meki Myro responding, then I will scour the skies in search of the strongest and report back all that I am able to find, Lord Raijin. Good, and so now go and take whomever you may need in order to see your mission through within the 7th now, Raijin continues. And as for you, Akuro, you will head into Universe 6 and bring with you several Shinjins with you, while the original ventures elsewhere in the meantime. Spare no one and see what you can discover. And as for you, Kodos and Shinjin, you will both head directly into Universe 11 and retrieve all of the information that you possibly can before you are given any other order. Am I understood? And since you are already familiar with Universe 11, Kodos, Raijin continues, I expect for you both to do what you must in order to find all that there is that I require from there, so that our army may rise against any stronghold that will be placed in our path upon the moment after discovering it. With the Demon Elite Kodos responding, oh, but I do, Master Raijin, I do. I haven't forgotten about Universe 11, for it would seem as though I still have some unfinished business to attend to. With Raijin responding, good, and so now do not fail me, for you already know what awaits you, as this will be the very moment where the living realms will soon come to understand that no matter where they go and what they try to go and do, and no matter where they seek shelter in attempting to go and hide, Raijin continues, they will all in some way, shape, or form come to terms with who their master truly is, and ultimately go and bend their knees to my will. And as I wait for the Dark Masters to complete my wish by using the Super Dragon Balls, very soon will it all finally be done just as it was intended to be done many, many years ago. For I will not be so foolish as to go and make the same mistakes that I went and made before ever again. And especially not while my Dark Masters have in their possession the one thing that will turn out to be the greatest difference maker, Raijin continues, as this time I intend for things to go in a much different direction than how it once was, and one by one, as each of those deities are pulled apart and kept away, the mortals they look after will not be able to stand a chance and go and survive without them. But it must be done without the chances of anything going wrong in the process either, Raijin says. And so from here on, it'll only be a matter of time before everything begins to come crashing down around those within the living worlds. And with no end in sight and with the strongest destroyed, the weak will be ripped to pieces while the multiverse becomes mine to mold and morph into becoming my greatest of all kingdoms. As it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Dark Masters, the official Murno sequel, manga chapter number 15 special, then comes to a close. Now, you can go and make no mistake about the fact that with Raijin's ruthlessness now beginning to be showed even upon those whom he calls his allies within the demon realm, there doesn't appear to be any length that Raijin will not go to in order to see his plans that he had established eons ago to finally come into fruition. Which is
I
why
said it in the video title, this guy's ruthless.
to go out and search for the strongest strongholds all throughout the multiverse. And on
Oh
top of
man,
giving
that's what's up
one more
though.
warning, one can only imagine as to what Raijin has in store for those who he deems to be suspicious, in which you do not want to miss out on this and so much more, which will be made available first on my Patreon for those of you out there that are members to see. So if you would not only want to go as far as to support the fan manga content that you see on this channel, but also gain exclusive access to my art, soundtracks, PNGs, and early access to videos and so much more, then I do encourage for you guys to become a member of my Patreon today. Patreon.com/UnrealEndGaming gaming, to which I will go ahead and leave that link located down in the description box below and pinned comment section below as well. Because what I will go as far as to say, without giving away too many spoilers, there will be a lot of bloodshed coming up in the next few chapters, so you do not want to miss out on this and so much more that's coming your way, to which once again I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time, to where as always, if you just so happen to be new to the channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. And for more, and with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your time, patience, and support, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming? Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms. Sexy son of a bitch. Roshi. Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch. Roshi, the fuck? God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell. And we're demonetized. Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Since it ain't working, might as well put it back on me. What up? Wait for it. And now just close it. Fuck it. You ain't working, so I got you. That's how it be, though. You gotta do it live, though, because it happens in action, baby. Can't be sitting on the sideline waiting on things to hopefully go right now. We do this live, then we'll have the video editor come back and edit the video. You won't even never know it happened. Shouts out to the video edit, but you know the original game that was here when it was live, y'all get to see the live. When we do the remasters in 10 years, you'll get the remasters. I'll be like, look at classic Spider Pig. Hell, I was doing my thing. I ain't even know what the fuck to be doing half the damn time. Hell, put it in the video. What up to the big homie Dr. Evils? Appreciate you for popping up. Hell yeah, you know, we sitting here kicking it, doing our Spider Pig THING. You know what I'm saying? We had plenty of Dragon Ball content this week to go through. I'm almost done, though. I'm almost done, but you already know how that go. I got to be ready to go right back at 10 o'clock on TWP, so we're going to really keep it popping today, because that's how we do it, baby. We get active on Saturdays around here. You dig? Hey, I mean, it's homework on TWP, but that goes for all the channels that we run anyway. You see what I'm saying? We at home putting in our work. Shouts out to that. People that don't like it, I understand it, because y'all niggas is allergic. Hell, you can't see a dude like me out here doing my thing. Like, yeah, is it that simple? Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. Well, I got shit I want to do, so I do it. You dig? Got shit I want to do, so I do it. Now, you were supposed to go to this. These video. That way we can wrap this up and I can get on up out of here.
You're making a big mistake.
9 thumbs up, I appreciate that.
Where do you think you're going?
Then they just stuck looking like he getting beat up. Ain't nobody gonna help.
Pity, what a waste of talent. Today, back off. Have it your way. A tough guy like you should be able to face the truth.
I just got wrecked. Shout out big homie though. Y'all know to go check out DJ is Buy Me a Coffee and his YouTube channel, cause you know that's the big homie. He be sending your boy them beats all the damn time, and we appreciate that. Got that Spider-Man with the Mary Jane right there for your boy, cause you know how we do. You know how we do. We do spider ham shit, spider pig shit, whatever you want to call it.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there to the morning light.
I'm gonna start that over because now I'm gonna go to the Bob Me Coffee. Shouts out to the Bob Me Coffee. Y'all know to go support your boy over there. YouTube is cool, but I don't want them getting 30% of my money. I'd rather y'all come to the Bob Me a Coffee and holler at your boy, right? Let's just view the page so y'all can see what's cracking. We got memberships set up. I'm gonna have to get some more extras and stuff over there for y'all so y'all can really support your boy. But y'all know how we gonna do it. It'll be a value exchange because that's what we do. Pig's about that money, so we trying to get him a bank. Pig said he wants to play banker. As a young Peter Porker, he wanted to be a banker. Shouts out to the piggy bank. As y'all see, the posts over here do get views, so go check out the Buy Me a Coffee. The community over there is a community. Show y'all these posts. 56 views, 47 views, 60 views. They get views over there, 69, 111. And that's just talking about Super Saturday. They like that boy Broly, boy, hey. And as you see, videos that do get banned are still linked on the Buy Me a Coffee. So we got private videos over there. You know, you dig? We got you. Almost a 2-hour video today. That's what's up. Spider Pig came through the building. Super Saturday. Y'all know to go check out DJ Tanya Renee tonight. Appreciate her for always waking up and coming through and hollering at your boy. Shout out to Big Dr. E. Vills. Go check him out. Uh-oh, 6 months cured. That's what's up. And of course, go check out the Rumble. The link is right there in the chat. Shouts out to the chat.
Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the garden, by the door, in the bedroom, on the floor. Remember me when you're far away. I'll always have a place for you to stay. In the middle of the night, I'm gonna be there
Well, I want to remind everybody of something. I know there are some Dragon Ball fans who are like, we want Dragon Ball Super, and oh no, you made Goku a kid again. But, and I can tell you from my own experience doing it, what's great about Akira Toriyama is that he can take one of his, an old concept or an old idea and make it fresh. Like when Resurrection F came out, even when we heard about it, I remember thinking, oh man, Frieza again? I thought we were done with Frieza. But then it was amazing. And then they brought back Cell, and I thought, oh, when are we going to have a new villain? But it was amazing. So initially I was like, hey, he's the kid again. I mean, it was GT, but I know if it's his project and he wants to do it and it's his baby, it's going to be great. He's really just so good at just telling stories and such a master of comedy and humor and creative ideas that while I'm a little sad I'm not Goku in most of it, I am in the beginning and the end probably. I haven't seen the last part yet, and I can't say too much. But and I think they just announced a theatrical release for the English dub, which I don't know when that's coming out, but that was a surprise to me actually. They just called me one day and said, "Oh, some of this in theaters." I'm like, "Oh, all right, let's go. That's fine, that's great." I thought it was really cool. So I'm confident for those of you hardcore fans that are like, "But I didn't want Kid Goku." I still think it's going to be amazing.
I agree.
Because of Akira Toriyama's magic touch.
Yeah.
And we're all going to miss that. And I think it's going to reverberate throughout the universe forever.
Yeah.
So, and I'm here for the rest of Z, Super when it comes back, if it ever does come back, because they would be fools not to finish it, but that's up to the folks in Japan. We got to respect that.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it if they need me, and the journey is going to keep continuing.
Yeah.
So, and I know they announced this at New York Comic Con last year. I know they made a 10-year plan with Akio Yoko's company, Capsule Corporation. They want to do more movies and more video games. So, but they have limited bandwidth. One Piece is real popular right now.
Yeah.
Toei animates that as well. One Piece is an amazing show. So, I'm just excited for Toei's success in that regard. I'm also grateful to them as well and all the support they've shown me over the years of playing Goku, etc. So it's just been, in spite of this tragedy that we lost Akira Toriyama Sensei too soon.
Yeah.
There's beauty in what's left to do.
Yeah.
For his powerful, powerful work.
Yeah.
And I would not be sitting here knowing any of you or shaking your hands if a young Japanese man in the 80s decided to not draw a little Goku.
Yeah.
And so I'm here because of the power of one and a pen and imagination of staggering proportions.
That's so good. I think so many of us are here because he drew Goku one day, right? Because Goku really set the stage to change manga and anime storytelling and for forever.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are here because of that. And that's why I'm so pumped about it too, because it's one of the last things that he's leaving for us, and everything he's touched, in my opinion, has been really, really good. And from a fan perspective, same thing with Resurrection F and Superhero. I was like, dude, Frieza again?
Yeah, exactly.
Holy cow,
And it was great.
And then Superhero was like,
Cell, what? But it was great.
It was awesome.
So,
Okay, that was great.
That's why I'm like, if it hadn't been written by Akira Toriyama, I'd be like, sus a little.
Yeah.
I'd be like, is it going to be good? Because he wasn't all over GT, and some people like GT, some people don't. I like GT just fine. I think it's good. And they're borrowing more elements from GT. People are like, is GT canon? Well, they're using Pan more. They're using their Super Saiyan 4 and Sparking Zero. So they're starting to borrow more elements.
All right, hot dogs. Y'all know I ain't gonna hold y'all up all day because we can talk about Dragon Ball all day. But I do have another live to get ready for TWP, so y'all know to come back at 10 o'clock. Catch me on the popcorn side. We'll show y'all how to keep it popping this week.